I've had so much interest in people saying to me or conveying to me a little, not fear exactly, but just disgruntledness, a lack of hope for change, given all of the craziness that's going on. And just, it feels, at least it feels to me, that the layers keep getting layered on. There's one sort of disappointment about something of how the country, the world, humanity, all of that. And then another little layer gets added on. And it has kind of undermined a little bit sort of the sense of hope. I'm like, okay, where is that? Where is resolution and the resurrection of something better coming from? And so I wanted to talk about hope today and how we keep hope alive. Um, and why we keep hope alive. I mean, it's very obvious, but one reason that we keep hope alive is that it's like breathing air. That is our sustenance. Hope is an underlying sustenance to our continued vitality. And even when there are things that are trying to diminish our sense of hope and resolution with some situation, there, and it seems that there's no way out or people aren't thinking clearly, that we still can hold this sense of hope. And even though we're living right now in some days that have a lot of unpredictability, and unpredictability can activate the sense of no hope because we can't control and we feel a little bit trapped by the outside circumstances and we don't know what the future holds. The part of the process of holding hope is that we hold our life humbly, admitting that we have no control or we have very little control. And control is an issue for almost all of us. Where can I, and we couch it in very interesting ways. So I can take the idea of control and I can construct a really interesting story about how I want something to happen and how I might activate it and make it happen. But really, it's about me controlling and not allowing it to unfold itself. Where's that thin line between me wanting to move it the meter this way versus me just sitting with what is and still holding a sense of hope and possibility in that. The devil is in the details with control, and how we look at control allows us to really imagine that underneath of control is hope. If we can get underneath of the control and let go, that then hope arises, because hope is held down by the sense of a lack of control. So if things are outside of my ability to make change, or what is perceived as that, I feel less hope. This is probably one of our most essential spiritual disciplines and practices, is letting go of control and knowing when to activate input and what we might look at as control, and when not to. That again is a very fine line. We don't just abdicate in our life, well, whatever happens happens and it's not my problem, or I don't have control, so whatever. We have to be in discernment for when do I step in, and what are the parameters of this stepping in, what's appropriate, what's appropriately called for as my responsibility, and where do I let it go. And not out of futility going, well, I can't make a change, so why bother, but out of choice. Control is about choice. I have choice of when to step in and when not to, and activating and utilizing my control by choice makes it a whole different situation, because then I recognize that I'm not being pushed into no control. I'm actually choosing. This is the whole action and inaction. Inaction isn't a lack of movement, it's a choice to be in inaction. When I choose it, I hold it very differently than when I feel stymied. I can't change something. So then there's a little bit of a panic that comes up because I can't move it. But when I choose it, I'm choosing to sit quietly with this situation and allow it to unfold. That's a choice I'm making, and I don't have to feel a push from that. I can be very receptive to that. So hope, getting underneath of control, allows hope to arise, and for us to stay hopeful that there is a way that whatever the situation is, it can look more fruitful. Even though I might not have the insight to that right now, that may take some time for me to understand. But I'm in timelessness if I'm able to get into that space. I'm not in a time-bound constraint. It doesn't have to happen in a certain amount of time in order for it to satisfy my sense of control. So that's our spiritual practice. I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's the path to transformation. So we have to look at hope as this little 4-letter word with great respect, because hope is a decision, hope is a choice. Deciding to live in hope does not mean that we won't experience dark days or low moments, but choosing hope is a long-term decision. It's not just about this moment. It's about me choosing to live in the space of hope as an attitude, that I can be hopeful for outcomes that have more alignment with where they're supposed to be than how I understand. My understanding is very limited by my senses and by my past experience. And what I might want to be hopeful for, I probably haven't even seen, so I can't even imagine it. So holding the unknown as a possibility and a freedom is really liberating, because now I can just sit in it and be an observer and a witness rather than be the controlling piece, rather than being the one that controls it. There's hope. We can have a new sense of hope daily. I can have the end of my day, I can feel whatever has happened through my day, or however I've carried what the thoughts of something that is not either pleasing or settling well with me. By the end of the day, I can be kind of tired by it. But each day I wake up, I can have a refreshed attitude in relationship to hope. So I can wake up in the morning and go, okay, it's like I'm filled up. The sleep has been restorative, and I have the capacity now to be able to sit with a refined and a new blossoming hope. Miracles happen every day. A miracle as an extraordinary event happen every day. And when I hold space for that potential miracle without the expectation of it looking a certain way, they just seep in. And I go, oh, I see that. That's the tiniest little miracle that I hadn't even imagined and I might have overlooked. I might have overlooked because I was closed down to it being a certain way. Just because we can't see a miracle proven in a way that we can empirically measure it doesn't mean that they haven't happened and they aren't happening all the time around us. We all know that. And this is, part of our trust journal and our miracle journal, is to remind ourselves when these little tiny ones come through that they're happening to us all the time. And that can place us in a place of trust, which allows us to relinquish control. And then it allows us to hold hope. They're all intertwined and intertangled. We can't just separate them out. I'm going to hold hope over here and I'm going to hold everything else over here. They're woven together. This is the tapestry that Dawn talks about when she's making things. She's weaving together pieces of yarn or fabric to make something new. We have to constantly weave together these possibilities within our system and not hold them as individual strands. And miracles and hope and control and judgment, all of these things have to be held together. It's a tangled web. It's a tangled web, but we can do that. And we can do that and not slam the door on hope. Hope waits to be found. It's waiting to arise by our perception of how we're seeing it. It's sitting right here, and we get to choose to either see it or not see it, to experience it or not experience. So we don't want to ignore the powerful and long-lasting virtue of hope. Hope has a virtue. We want to hold that quality inside of ourselves because it lightens our day. And it doesn't have to be the kind of hope where we're just pretending or we're glossing over the situation. I'm just going to be hopeful and I'm not going to look at all of the negativity. We hold everything because we are containers. We're vessels that have the possibility and the ability to hold all of it, that we stop separating everything out. And we hold all of that. I can still hold hope in the light of discord, or in the light of disappointment, or in the light of lack of control, perceived lack of control. I can still hold light. I can hold it. So cultivating a relationship with living hope. Let's talk about hope as a living entity, not as a momentary place that I go into, but as something that is alive in my life. And that it is spurring me on to have an openness and expansiveness that I otherwise might not have, and be in that. So perceive it and live it as a living nature within my system. And let's see how that activates the essential nature of my embodied experience. I'm going to experience being in this body and in this world of complexity in a different way when I see hope as a living entity, living hope. This week, let's live hope. That's my wish for us.
Always said that love heals the heart, faith heals the brain, and hope heals our digestion. That just came to my mind. So I wanted to do something that makes it more crystal clear, and I just looked outside, and Santa Barbara is still fogged in, and I thought, well, this would be wonderful to do. So you have both arms. Let's take both of your arms out to the left. So the left palm is facing forward. The right palm is just facing your heart center without touching it. Yeah. And then you swing to the opposite side. So you just go inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You close your eyes. You bring your awareness to your third eye and you pull in consciously prana into your body. The pranic energy that keeps us alive, keeps us moving. We do this for a little while. Stay steady. We are halfway there. You live with your joy. Good. Bring both arms out to the side, palms facing forward. Inhale deeply. Suspend your breath. And on the exhale, just rest your hands, back of your hands onto your knees. Straighten your spine, tuck your chin, bring your head slightly back. And allow the energy to flow. Always remember the hands are the extension of your heart center, and so are your arms. So we brought a lot of pranic, new fresh life force into our heart center. You were great. 6.5 minutes, approximately. Just take a moment to integrate the energy that you activated. Integration is as important as the action. Good, and we slowly open our eyes. The next one is much shorter. So we have our palms forward, and then we bring them in front of our face, yeah, without touching. So it's as if you want to clap your hands, but you stop just like an inch before they touch. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Close your eyes again, bring your awareness to the third eye. Stimulate your pituitary gland, the master gland of your body. We're opening our lungs, still working for the heart, but also allow the glands to secrete. The set of exercises this morning is to become crystal clear. One more minute. Just imagine the lymph in your armpits right now. Like a wake-up call for them. All the lymph nodes starts to dance. Good. Inhale, bring the arms back. Suspend your breath. And then exhale again, rest the back of your hands onto your knees. Keep your spine straight, long, deep breathing. You might feel your heart beating a little faster. You might feel energy moving through your arms, or you feel more warmth in your body. Good. And slowly open your eyes for the last movement this morning. So have your palms face the ground, parallel, forearms are parallel, and you're just bouncing as if you bounce a ball. So they move at the same time, both arms. Align the movement with your breath, in and out through the nose.